what's up?
Baby, let's go.
Welcome to our website. We got loads of news and gossip for you today. But first, here's a new song.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday. Wacky Tuesday.
It's a 2-2-2-2-0-2.
Yeah, too many twos. Deuce is wild.
Two to you. Maybe it's a lucky day for you.
So far, it has not been.
I'm changing my mindset. You should try it. New perspective, new day.
That's nice. An hour ago, your mindset was changed.
Oh, no.
Now it's a different mindset.
Oh, no, my mindset was where it was, but I decided I had two choices to go down the road. I could go down the road where I was going, that was going to serve me no good, or I could change my mindset and go on the 2-2-2 mindset and
so
say, you know what?
So what mindset are you going?
I'm wiping off the dandruff and the headlights and I'm going on the
That's
positive
what I
mindset.
said.
So I'm wiping it off. I could have gone down that road mindset. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it again to myself.
It's amazing how the conversations evaporate. You remind me of Slick too.
Because you know what? It's Slick too, I know. It's all about perspective. You can't change always the circumstances. You can only change your reaction to the situation.
That's right.
And my reaction, if it's always the
Look,
same
he's
to that
agreeing with you.
situation, it serves me no good.
That's right. You have to make adjustments like anything else in
Yeah,
life.
some situations I don't want to make adjustments. I'd rather just
You
ignore
see,
the
but
situation.
then the bad will overtake you, because if you can't make adjustments when things don't go your way, then what are you gonna put your hands up and walk away?
I've adjusted. I called Comcast twice. The first time I could not get a person, so they disconnected me. The second time I got a person who could not help me, I asked for a supervisor. No, she couldn't help me either. I needed the man that writes the contracts. So let's see, by the fourth phone call, they actually call me back.
And
I haven't got the phone call back yet. So we'll see.
I love the deal you made with Comcast. Now we have a phone line. Not that we need a phone line, not that we asked for a
Right.
phone line, but they gave us a phone line.
We've got
Which is-
increased Wi-Fi, a new
No, we
Wi-Fi.
don't.
We got a new Wi-Fi, a new guest Wi-Fi,
We have a new guest Wi-Fi.
and we have a new phone line. That
And
we
we
don't
have-
need either one.
We don't
but
need
to
either
lower the
one.
price, I had to take two more things.
So it's addition by subtraction.
But I'll take it.
So you take what? We got a phone line. I'm gonna buy a phone that lights up.
I have a phone in my house, I think.
That lights up.
I don't know if it lights
No,
up.
it has to light up.
I don't know if it
I
does
got a
that.
phone in my house too, but I wanted to have like bells and whistles, so that way it will remind people to call in, because we're giving away 2 free tickets to the movies of Del Rey.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A. The music that we opened the show with was the beautiful soprano voice of Maria Kesselman of the new musical coming out in London starting on March 24th. Mario Lanza, his music and his story, live in London theaters on March 24th through May 15th. And then in the middle of all of that, we have the amazing exclusive opportunity to be streaming it to local theaters and our local distribution coming out on April 14th.
Yes, and I was fortunate enough to go to the theater where it's going to be playing at the
Movies of Del
Rey. Man, very comfortable seating. It's like a whole different world in there.
Well, they've got exclusive. They get to stream the Met very often also.
Yeah, which is very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice compliment.
So
I got all
Maria's
sorts
voice
of
is
stuff.
spectacular. In the next hour, you're going to hear the tenor of Ian Michael. So he's going to kick off our 1 o'clock hour.
Oh, you have him singing too?
All of those things lined up. Just when you think,
Wow.
I
I'm
know.
impressed.
I loaded the board yesterday.
I'm impressed.
Loaded the board yesterday. But we've got a very longtime friend of the cafe. We've got Ted Hoskinson of Roots and Wings joining us, and his new executive director, Michael Coleman, with us. So it's been a minute, as they say, that since we've had the opportunity to talk with Ted. I don't even know if it's been within this school year.
Well, Ted has been very busy because I see what he posts on LinkedIn. Or is it Instagram? I think it's both. I don't know. And it's all over the place. I mean, I've never seen this guy's face more than ever in this 5 years I think that we've known him.
Roots and Wings. And there you have it. Having the day.
And the color change, you were never a green hat. Always? Always. You remember this?
I don't remember this green. Because I think I always see you in that blue that goes with Project Uplift. So I never realized it was the green. But it's a very cute hat, I must say.
Green means go.
Green. Actually, as a matter of fact, green does mean go. And we have a segment from Dr. Hillary Taylor of Dr. THC that specifically talks about that today.
Green means go?
Yes, 100%.
I was just making
It's
that
about
up.
your mental mindset that green means go. Right, so we're going to be airing that. What's been happening? You want to do the introductions with Michael?
Sure. So Michael Coleman, I've been after Michael Coleman to join our organization for the last 4 years. He finally said yes. I was really happy to hear that because he's a member of the community, has been a member of the community, and he's the guy that can take Roots and Wings really to the next level. So we've been doing all those things that we always did. We've been doing 18 schools with our teacher awards, and we're now this spring, we added 2 more schools, so we're up to 650 kids in 1st through 5th grade. We're trying to capture some of those children who didn't have to take the test 2 years ago to get through the award, to get through to 4th grade. So they're still reading at the 2nd and 3rd grade level, even though they're in 5th grade. So before they get to middle school, it's kind of important to help them to read.
And
So,
check out camera 3 because people are asking to see you. There you go.
oh, okay.
You're in camera 3.
So
Next one over.
it's important that we make sure that kids before they hit middle school have that chance because once they hit middle school, pretty much it's all over if they can't read.
Are you finding we've sort of lost touch during COVID because we haven't seen a whole lot of kids. We haven't been able to get into the schools. We haven't been able to get them here. Have you seen a change from the homeschooling to this year? Are they learning more? Are they learning less? What are you finding? What's going on?
Well, last year was pretty much a lost year. In some statistics say children lost 70% of their reading knowledge. So we couldn't run our program because distance learning, even though it sounds great if you're supposed to be on a computer for 6 hours during the day, it's kind of hard to be on the computer for another half hour or 3/4 of an hour after school. So basically we took a breather. We allowed, as kids were going back to school late last year, we had several programs, several schools, principals were asked by actually parents who said, can you bring that program back? And at Orchard View, we actually had 2 classes running at 7 o'clock in the morning before school started because we had teachers who were volunteering to be paid, but volunteering to come in that early to teach the program because they knew how vital it really was. So this year we started out and we had a pretty full complement of kids. In some schools, because of COVID, we had some problems with getting the teachers that we would like to be able, the numbers of teachers. There's so many more kids than we could help because there's just so many more kids that need help. But
Michael, let's talk about some of the programs that you are doing to help with not only the teachers, but the kids.
Okay. So, some of our 2 signature programs. First of all, thanks for allowing Ted and I to join your show. I know Ted had been here a couple of times, my first time, so I really appreciate you guys allowing us to come back. First of all, we have 2 signature programs called Project Uplift and Above and Beyond. Project Uplift and Above and Beyond. Our Project Uplift program it's an academic program teaching young kids how to read and comprehend. Our Above and Beyond Award, we recognize teachers for going above and beyond to work with society's most prized assets, which is our children, our kids. And we have seen, and also we understand during the pandemic, we had an issue with technology. Technology, when people don't realize, think about it, when you cannot get on your cell phone or get on your computer, pay a bill, we're devastated as adults. Thinking about a kid who can't get on his computer to learn how to read and write. And it impacted a lot of the low-income community because a lot of families had to make a tough decision. Should I feed my children or should I get Wi-Fi in my home? So they took to feed my child over academics. And so Roots and Wings, we want to be that stop that in that gap to support on all sides the educators who are leaving the school system because they're overwhelmed, overworked, and the parents who cannot pay for tutoring for their kids. So those are 2 signature programs, but we added digital divide in there, buying technology for the low-income communities.
Well, how are you doing that? Because I think, Ted, last time we spoke, they were setting up hubs in Delray Beach so the kids could come out and do their work, especially during the homeschooling. Was that part of what you did, or are you giving out technology? And that would be a huge undertaking.
yeah, actually we received a grant. We applied for a grant with Connected Nation, which was a combination between AT&T that gave out hotspots or awarded hotspots, and the NBA that awarded some computers. So we were the lucky recipient of 240 hotspots, which we made available to every student that was in our program if they didn't have a hotspot that was there. The communities themselves react, but they react slowly. They want to be helpful, but to put up a tower takes money and takes time. A hotspot doesn't take much time, it just takes hooking it up. So we were able to generate a lot of interest, and then we got, because of the computers, we got one of the Miami Heat stars to come and help give away some computers and hotspots
Cool.
at Pine Grove. So that was kind of cool.
And that's all for the technology. And how are kids rebounding?
Well, the kids this year are making tremendous gains. Michael's my statistician. Everybody has to have a statistician. In addition to being that one of those dancers, that we talked about earlier.
Well, we followed the iReady program through the school board has a iReady program to track the learning gains of kids. So we're not just going out there just to go read a book. Our results being measured by a system called iReady. And so far, we have had 90% of our kids within the program have had gains over the course of half a year. So we got 90% of our kids have had gains. Now, we take the data itself and look at where they started from to where they need to be by end of the year. But the beauty of it is they have made gains. They learn how to read. So what we did, we compared the kids within our program to the kids that's not in the program. And just two schools, Rolling Greens and Boynton, and then Core Sunset, we have had 91% of the kids in our program have had gains, significant gains.
That's great.
Versus 73% of the kids that's not in our program. So the gains have shown results based on a little extra reading and a little more extra attention with our kids. And not only are we teaching them how to read, we're dealing with a lot of kids that's called ESOL kids. ESOL kids are their primary language, not English. So our teachers are working above and beyond.
You were actually an ESOL student, weren't you? English as a
That's not
second
what
language?
that's not what they called it, but
But
yeah.
it was that same type of thing.
It was, and they had the color books. You had purple, blue, and the top one was 24 stages, and you had to fight to get there, and you were reading like a madman to try to get there. And I gotta tell you, it was really tough because if you were the green book, it means that you were, and that was embarrassing about your peers. They put a lot of pressure.
And what we have learned, Ted can answer that one, how.
Well, I think the most important thing that what we try to do is the kids take the iReady test at the beginning of the year, so the teachers and the principals obviously know where they are. Then they send a letter out to the parents because we have to get the parents to sign on to say, we're going to let our child stay at school until 4 o'clock, and then we're going to pick the child up at 4 o'clock, and that's going to be good, and we're going to put the child in the program, we're going to support the program. But what you do is you take those children in groups then of 10, small groups, what they don't know, so they're regrouped by what they don't know, and then you put them in these small classes where there's not a bully in the class that they have during the day that doesn't know how to read either but knows how to bully. You have this person behind you saying, ha, 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 when you don't know how to read, when after school, all those kids are at the same place. Most of them need phonics lessons. And once they get it, they really get it. And that's one of the reasons why, we had a lot of kids who've already gained a year's worth of knowledge. Their growth goal for the year, they've already exceeded their growth goal for the year. Imagine that. Imagine just by getting those basics and having a teacher in the school willing to stay after school for the paltry amount of $25 an hour to teach 10 kids. But they do it for the love of the kids. And when these children start to blossom because of that consideration and kindness, everybody's a winner. The kid's a winner. We have kids, we were told we have several at Rolling Green. Parents are signing their name with an X. They don't know how to write their name. These are real situational problems.
And Dr. Freddie, the beauty of it is those same kids in second, third grade going home to teach their parents how to read in phonics.
That's
so
amazing.
we're seeing not only they're improving in the school system, they go home to teach their parents. And then the data out there, the national data, if you can't read by third grade, I don't believe all data. If you can't read by third grade, there'd be a prison system based on third grade reading scores. So reading is the fundamental for success. And if you can read, you can create your own success.
That is true.
And we understand that. So we want to invest on the front end instead. And I spent 20-some years in law enforcement and the military. And I was on the other end where I locked a lot of young men up. But I go back and look at what did they do wrong. The challenge, the commonality for most of those young men and women, the reading was not was not a fundamental for them.
The challenge of survival.
Exactly.
Right, so it was just survival.
So Ted and I and Roots and Wing wants to invest in kids on the early end. And also we want to show appreciation to the educators, because educators, a lot of educators on welfare. They can't take care of themselves. So the little money we do pay them, it goes a long way. So.
That's amazing. We're going to take a commercial break. I'm loving having you guys back and hearing that the kids are making more strides again, because last year was just a loss leader for so many people and for the kids. We work with Random Acts of Kindness and Kindness 365, and what they're seeing is the kids are taking it home and teaching their parents acts of kindness, just like your students are doing. They're going home and teaching their parents to read. Can you imagine being an adult in this day and age, in this society that we have, and not being able to read or write?
It just adds more of a complexity. I also read that today 3G is no longer available in this country. They shut it down. So 3G is done. So those old phones, those old computers that was running on 3G speed, now it's a new problem because they got to get up to 4 and 5G. So that's changed. Reaching for the information has changed. Everything is changing while we're still in the midst of not only this situation but others. So again, how do people get in touch if they want to get involved?
Well, the easiest way is we have a website. See, that's been my biggest problem. That's why I need somebody like
There you
Michael,
go.
right? The easiest way is our website, which is www.rootsandwings.org. We're in 501c3, and we just want to make a plug for that reading program. It's actually probably the smallest investment someone could ever make in trying to help a child.
All right, when we come back,
$500.
we'll talk about that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to let you all know how you can help the kids in your community. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions. Expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay, her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444.
This segment of the Brooklyn Cafe Show is brought to you by Coffee News. News to be enjoyed over coffee.
Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And this section of the show is brought to you by Coffee News.
Yes.
What do you got cooking on Coffee News?
What happened to the piece?
They played it already.
But that was during the rejoiner.
It's very complicated.
You know, I don't understand the new world order.
Because I'm creating it when you're not here.
Yeah, you're creating
You should
it.
stay here more often.
Coffee News, yes. Our friends at Coffee News, 954-951-7870. Call Joey. You want the trivia for today?
Let's do a trivia of the day since we've got our educators in the house.
When was the Panama Canal completed?
Can we call someone?
Call phone a friend.
You can call him. Reach out.
I
to
read
him.
the book. I read the whole book, and I will tell you there's another fact that I bet you don't know. What was the cheapest fare, or what was the cheapest thing that ever went through the Panama Canal? I learned that in the last.
What do you mean the
book was
cheapest?
this thick.
What do you mean the cheapest then?
Well, they charged to
that's
go through the Panama Canal.
Oh, so what was the cheapest fare? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Or what caused the cheapest fare?
Great pivot, Ted. Great pivot.
What was the cheapest fare? What could have gone through the canal maybe at the cheapest
At
fare?
the cheapest rate.
I have no idea.
A duck.
A human being swimming. One person.
You have to charge for one person swimming
They
through the
charged
canal?
one because
Wow.
they raised the locks and went, yeah. I had friends that just went through it. They had three boats tied up together. They have a group of 12 people going around the world, and this guy is had his boat tied with two of the other ones. They went through the Panama Canal just a week ago.
Does anybody know how long it takes to go through the Panama Canal? An hour, 30
Couple
minutes?
hours.
Couple hours? Wow. 1914 is the answer to when it was built.
Ah, very
When it was
nice.
completed.
Very nice. So we've got some great ads in here from the Coffee News. If you are a restaurant or a school or anyone that is looking just for a daily easy read, they come out weekly. Great horoscopes, great local community advertisers. All you have to do is contact Joey at 954-951-7870. Tell him the Brooklyn Cafe Show sent you. Here they say A Dog's Life. It's a whole story about, and then they talk about what's happening in the area. So maybe it's a good spot for you guys.
That'd be something. to
See
think.
what's happening in your area. So all different zip codes, all different demographics. Friday, March 4th is Food Truck Friday at University Woodlands in Boca Raton. Food Truck Friday. All right, so we were talking to Ted and Michael of Roots and Wings about what it costs or what it takes, how people can help your schools in the community.
Your money guy, Ted.
Oh,
The
I'm the
money.
money guy. Okay, so, well, we get grants. We apply for grants within the area. So we've gotten money from the Jim Moran Foundation, Impact 100 PBC, which is a wonderful group of women who group together in a giving society. Impact 100 Men, Men Giving Back, Pulte Foundation. We've received a fair amount of gifts from organizations outside our area as well, and then individual donors. But the Project Uplift is a really, instead of spending, which Michael can tell you, he spends some money on tutoring for his daughter every week, and it's about $60 to $70 if you need some help to get a teacher to come and help your child. Our program is basically $500 for 18 weeks, 3 days a week, to help a child, and it's probably the best bargain around because if these parents obviously don't have the $500, even though it's a lot less expensive than others. But we group $25 gifts together with $50 gifts, together with $100 gifts and $500 gifts to support the program. So
Now, if kids need help, the parents don't have to pay, right? This is all.
parents, it's all free.
So if your kid needs help, if your child is identified as a student needing help in any of these elementary schools, it's not as if but the parents have to come up with the money. That is what you are fundraising
That's what we
for.
fund. That's exactly right. And we've started with the Title I schools. We still have 4 more Title I schools to go. We only bring on a school when we know we can afford to keep it ongoing, or we feel we can keep it ongoing into the future, not just one time, because it's not fair to the school to invest the time, energy, and effort. It requires a strong principal to make sure that they have the teachers on board to teach those classes, and we have somebody supporting first grade, and then our basic program is second and third, and then we've added fourth and fifth in some schools based on the funding that we have. So
We have like 9 Project Uplift schools, two in Boca, 5 in Delray, and 2 in Boynton. And the reason I mentioned that in Boca, people say, yeah, Title I school in Boca. Absolutely. And what's happening, the 2 schools that in our program are 70% Hispanic, but a lot of kids don't check the right box on identifying the ethnicity or the nationality. Because Core Sunset, a lot of Portuguese, a lot of Brazilian, they don't check the Hispanic box. So a lot of funding come from the federal government don't get to those schools.
Wow.
Because they don't identify as being Hispanic. So it's a challenge getting the resources to those schools because they're not checking the right box.
Why are they not checking it? Is it a reading or because they don't want to be identified?
And I've heard many that they want it, they're easy to assimilate into society if you check that
You
one
don't.
box and identify as white American versus Hispanic American.
That's interesting.
the other thing is, with the food stamps and things, a lot of people are afraid that they're going to be
Deported.
from
ICE,
this country.
ICE
So
may come in.
They don't.
Wow.
They don't check the right box, and that's how. I mean, a Title I school, by definition, is 75% of the kids at that school are on free or reduced lunch.
Yes.
That's a huge number. 75%. We have schools that are 99%.
Yes.
And you're working with 9 of those schools currently in South Palm Beach County?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Absolutely.
How many are there? Are there a lot
there,
more?
There are a lot. We're just working in these 3 communities, and like I said, there are 4 more than what we currently have. So there could be there are 13 of them in our 3 jurisdictions.
But the school board have reached out to us on a weekly basis to see could we move our program on the north end or be outside of a footprint. But we want to make sure this footprint, Boca, Delray Beach, and Boynton, are taken care of before we expand, before we, outreach our boundaries per se. So we want to make sure these areas are taken care of, and it takes money. But Ted and I always tell people, money's great, but we also need that consistency in the parents. We need the consistency of the leaders in the community and the business owners, and we want people to get involved. Because what a kid wants to see that consistency of someone coming to their school, the same teacher, the love that we show them. We'll just pop up any given day, just go out there and give out candy to a kid or give out gift cards to the kids so they can have a meal on the weekend when they go home. So it's not just reading. We're creating a family unity of programs that reach beyond education and life skills.
Interesting.
You know, what I find amazing about all of this is the Board of Ed, of course they would love them
They
to
want your help, right?
Of course. I mean, why not? And the problem exists, I guess, the more you give people an opportunity to read, to learn to read. I mean, for me, I couldn't speak good English. So they had me reading, and more reading. And I used to go home and used to teach my mom because she wanted to know what was going on. And they had me read so much that all of a sudden I went from reading to teaching kids in the class. And I never took the 8th grade. They took me from 7th grade to 9th grade automatically. In New York, it was called the SB classes. And they do it now, and it's all over the place. But that was a big deal because it meant that I got to college earlier. So the program back then, the Board of Education knew that we had a problem. And the problem started at home. Because that the kids weren't sent to school was because they're afraid of ICE. They're afraid of migra. And you wouldn't send your kid out to get snatched up because they're coming to your door. So all these fears were there. And my parents didn't speak English. They spoke broken English, and my brother and sister are the ones that I had to rely on. But the amazing thing that I get is that we know we have a problem, and we should make it expanded so that we can cover more kids, so we can start just breaking even. Because no matter what you do, there's more of them than what you guys are doing, though I applaud what you're doing. We need more. We need, again, I love what you do for teachers. I think that's another a great situation, because I've seen you go in there and give teachers awards. My whole family are teachers, my sister, all of them. But we need more. And not because I'm asking for it, but because I'm a product of it. You know, I went to NYU on a full scholarship because I learned to read. And I should have given more back to the community. This is why Fuego is so important to me. In 7 years, I've tried to put Fuego on the map, because when you can't read, man, it puts you in a hole. You look around, it changes your whole persona. Your friends change. All of a sudden, you start making mistakes simply because you don't have the education you need to get it right. So, again, how do people reach out to the program?
Okay, well, our website is the easiest way, but you can, when you get to the website, you can also reach out to us, and we'd love to talk to people and get them engaged in our program, because that's the most important way to make sure that people understand the importance of reading, is to get them involved in the program, to see what it is. Seeing is always believing, in my opinion. You can't, if you say, well, you know, kids are discouraged and kids don't want to really read, and there's nobody, you know, there's all this other problems. Come and see what we do. Come into the classroom with us and see how enthusiastic the kids are and how much they want to learn. I always say to people, no child wakes up in the morning and says, oh my God, I'm so happy, I'm not smart. I don't know how to read. I mean, that's where it really starts. People think, oh my God, these people, but no, they all want to be able to learn. They just need that extra help. And you're exactly right. I mean, we wish that we could be more places and do more good.
Right.
There are limits to what we can do, and we feel very strongly that it's important to get that firm foundation with as many children. We can't reach everyone, but the ones we reach, they can be off to the races and they don't need us anymore. Problem is, we don't even see them. They're off to the races.
How many years have you been doing
that's
this?
That's kind of cool.
How many years have you had Roots and Wings?
We've had Roots and Wings 6 years now.
So the kids you've started with, some of those kids that were in elementary school have now graduated, or are moving up through high school.
They're about to graduate, exactly right.
Have you, since you're the data statistic man, have you
we wish
tracked
we had
with
the
any
data,
of these
you know?
kids?
The other part that's so discouraging is the school district, and because of privacy laws, you know, we get the first name and the last initial, and you know, that's about all we get, except for the certificates that we print, and then once we print the certificate, we have to burn the information. So
I was going to say, it'd
we
be so
don't-
great
you know,
to
we
track
can
some
say
of these
Johnny
kids.
Jones, and we know it's Johnny Jones until we forget that Jones is the child's last name, because we put them down. We let them walk down a red carpet and take a picture of them, because it's important that they understand they've accomplished things, and then they get to shake hands with actual people they don't know. And then the whole class claps for them. Why does the class clap for them? They clap because they're all happy for each other that they've accomplished something, right? Which doesn't happen in life generally, you know?
True that.
So,
Yeah, we have the next phase of the program, our organization, to build out long-term. And part of that long-term is a lot of family engagement piece, as well as to track them as they grow. Someone from law enforcement, we received a lot of federal dollars through community policing in the early 90s. And some of those same kids that was in the community policing programs, and part of that was going into the school, teach them how to read, gang awareness, reading, all these different things. I can tell you this, it works if you stay consistent with it. And I tell the story all the time. The young man I met when he was 2 years old could not read very well, could not read at all. We identified him as being a criminal at early as 4th and 5th grade because of his inability to read. I can tell you this, based on the program we put around that young man, he at Florida State University, about to graduate, and one of the fastest guys in the ACC is running track.
Wow.
That's because we stayed with him. He stayed in the program. There's many stories like that.
That's amazing.
That you got to be consistent in the program and get our tools and resources. And people talk about, you want to change the economy? Yes, it's a building, it's jobs and all that stuff. But if you teach the young men and women how to read, you can stimulate any economy because you're not going to have the crime and all those other things. So reading is the fundamental to everything we do in life. And to drive the economy, teach the young men how to read, you can change the whole economy overnight.
You've seen the other side. What a great choice to pick Michael Ted, because he's seen the other side of when you don't read. It's not even just, well, this is what we think happens. You've been in the trenches. You know what it looks like.
Absolutely.
When you don't learn to read. And it's
I'll
not
tell you another statistic that's incredibly informative to people that think, oh, it's not my problem. The median income of someone over a lifetime, if you pass the 3rd grade reading test, over your lifetime you will earn $300,000 more. Okay? If you don't pass the 3rd grade reading test over your lifetime, you'll earn $400,000 less. So you can pay me now. You can help me be a contributing member of society, or don't help me now. Let me flounder, and then I'm going to need some food stamps. I'm going to need some help to live and exist, and I'm going to be a drain on you for the rest of my life.
Well, another stat, $2.5 billion if you know how to read. It's stop the welfare system, criminal involvement, and just a better family person. $2.5 billion if a kid know how to read overall.
wow.
It's funny because I was Congressman Charlie Rangel's aide in the Heights. And Charlie did not speak Spanish. He was from 125th Street in Harlem. And Charlie needed me to translate, and you know, it's really funny, translations change. I went to work at legal counsel because I found out that the information that was being translated was incorrect. And people were being found guilty because they were saying the wrong words. So I decided when I went to NYU that I was going to minor in Spanish, and I'm Latino, and here I am going to NYU to learn how to speak the language. The important aspect of having kids that don't speak English, number one, they want to be welcomed. If you look on the news and there's so much stuff going on about sending kids back and putting them in these places and everything, nobody's going to want to learn. They're going to want to learn to survive. And survive ain't always the prettiest thing in the world. You know, you turn to crime. We had that kid, All-American in the country,
Jackson,
high school.
yeah.
Jackson started out with the criminal element. He didn't know any better. And they cut down that tree and he went another way, and all of a sudden, look at him now, flourishing.
Yeah, Jackson is one of my guys that Mark Saw and all those other individuals who deserve a lot of accolades for working with him. His birthday, one day he was 16 years old. I took him downtown to Delray Beach because Delray Beach, he never crossed Swin to get there, look, and never crossed over.
Wow.
And I think he turned 16 or 17. I took him down to cut 432, which cost me about $300 that night, but it was worth it. He had never been downtown. He said, man, why are you down here with all these people? It's not for us. I said, anything for us we can if we have the work hard and we have the money. So I took it to my house on Sundays. They got a good meal and talked to my daughter and my wife, and I took him to cut 432, and he was amazed about he can sit downtown with all these other groups and not being chased away. So
Right.
there's a lot of good stories. Jackson's amazing.
He was
man.
amazing.
Jackson Destine is the guy that I took for 2 years around to every one of the elementary schools and paid him to talk to the kids about what education and reading had meant for him. And he won actually the Wendy's High School Athlete
Heisman.
of the Year award. And he's at Florida State. Is it Florida State?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He's at
Yeah,
FSU.
he's Florida State. Yeah.
His brother is up there with him. The
Oh, yeah.
family is dysfunctional in many ways, and his brother is living with
Yes,
him.
remember they brought the
They
little
brought him
boy.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was the
And
one-
also being educated into the minority community is on the other side to curse at the same time. Because if you're too smart, you know, a lot of the community look at you a different way. Like there's a kid that went to Duke University. He was very, very smart. But he couldn't take books home because his friend and family gave him a hard time for being too smart. He went to Duke University to play football, but he didn't go there because of football. He went there because he was smart. And he graduated in 3 years.
Wow.
You know, so now he's at Texas Tech because he transferred in the transfer portal so he can get to the NFL. But there's a lot of stories that people don't know on both sides, how education have impact your life, being too smart or not smart enough, how it impact your life early on.
You know, these are the stories that I know you're shorthanded and short-staffed. That would be so great. These kids are full of technology, the kids that have gone through this program and now have moved on. if they could just shoot a mini video clip from wherever they are, send them to us and let us play some of these as we go through the program. Brought to you because we're working with Kindness Matters 365, and they're sending us content. Jackson sends us a 30-second clip, or JJ sends us a 30-second clip of, you know, how education makes a difference. And let's pop these in as transitions, brought to you, this segment of the show brought to you by Roots and Wings. And let's highlight some of these spectacular kids, because like I told you yesterday, Byron Allen, who started out as a comedian in high school in the Johnny Carson show, has the largest African-American owned media company that people don't even know. He just bought the Weather Channel in 2018 for like $38 million. And he is growing and growing, and it's Black History Month, so you know what? Why not spotlight everyone? I hate to call them minorities, but to me they're people. But it is what it is, right? We can't change it until we can change it.
Well, you got to watch something at least 20 times a week before somebody says, what was that? It's repetition, repetition, and repetition. Now, my last name is Santori, spelled with a Y.
Yes,
My
sir.
forefathers were an I, Italian. When I was growing up in the Bronx, the Ghetto Brothers chased me all over the place because I wasn't Latino. And it wasn't until my cousin Fernand became warlord that they said, why are you chasing my cousin? He's Spanish. I mean, look at what I grew up with, was hiding. I was great at hiding behind cars, I got to tell you, until they walked by. I know that life. My brother used to pick me up from school. My cousins, we used to walk home in our own gang because we were afraid of getting mugged because of our last name and my skin color. When I go to Puerto Rico, I have a different problem. And I graduated high school in Puerto Rico. I had a different problem because I don't look Latino. So the game is the game within the game. But now, when I became a coach, all of a sudden I got to teach all of the opposite of that hate. I got to teach people to read. I used to have people walk up to me and give me tickets to University of Miami, to Michigan University. My son is playing football thanks to you. Here's 2 tickets. This is no lie. Michelle used to go, what is going on? You don't know the impact you do until they grow up and they come back and say, you know what? You changed my life.
So I would love to get some of these stories from these kids.
And then sometime, like, I don't know if you heard of XP Sports, something that I helped create in the early, when they first came down to Del Rey. A lot of those professional athletes, they still having challenges reading.
Absolutely.
So you're wondering how they go broke when you're making $100 million, have $100 million cut because they don't understand the contract they signed.
That's right. That's 100%
So reading
correct.
it never stops. Fundamentals of learning never stops. So I was amazed at how you go broke because they can't read the contract.
And somebody else is reading it.
Someone reading it for
That's
them.
that interpretation. I used to see it in the courts, and I said to the attorney, that's not what he said. And he used to say, take it easy. I said, no, what he's saying is going to get him thrown in jail.
Even the criminal justice system, as they read those orders and the sentence, they don't know they signed their whole life away. And you get 3 strikes, you're a habitual criminal.
That's right.
It all starts with understanding what's in front of you in black and white.
That's right. Taking the plea ain't always taking the plea, is what they used to say in the business.
How do people reach out to you? More information, to donate?
Yeah, we have our website is really the best way.
Okay.
We do post a lot on Facebook. We have a Facebook thing that's Roots and Wings FL, but www.rootsandwingsinc.org is our website. It'll show a lot of teachers getting awards with smiling faces, and we have lots of pictures of kids getting their awards and in the classrooms working at improving themselves.
And also, we travel. We take the show on the road, we travel. If you want to get involved, we'll come to where you're at and sit down with you and educate you about our program. And sometimes Ted and I have a wine and cheese day, and we invite friends that want to know about Roots and Wings and who we are, and invite them to a local place or someplace and sit down over. I'm learning a lot about cheese.
You learn a lot about wine, too.
I thought Boone Farmer and MD was good, but now he got me drinking some good stuff. But we sit down with good people, good friends and family and people that want to get involved and just converse over some good wine and great cheese.
Open up the conversation.
Open a conversation. And if they want to get involved, they can always call me direct at 561-789-8757 or call Ted or Ruth. But I'd like the conversation because I don't want you to give anything that you don't know where it's going. I would like to sit down with you and tell you about the program and tell you how many kids are going to impact. And last thing, when I go to these schools, a lot of kids are ashamed of speaking their language. They're ashamed, so I empower them, and I don't know 1 or 2 words, and I want them to speak their language. I want them to understand that your language is just as more important than English. So we encourage them to speak their language, and I bring diversity into the classroom where I want my kids to see someone of authority that look like them to empower them to achieve even more. So I don't tell them that, well, we got to speak, it's English class today. No, speak your Spanish, speak your Creole, speak your Mandarin, whatever you want, but at the end of the day, we still need to get back to the basics. So we encourage them to speak your language and don't be ashamed of your language, because you're more marketable if you speak 3 or 4 different languages.
Actually, one of our new interns, she's just moved here from France. Her father's from Spain, her mother's from England, and she grew up in France. So yes, she's trilingual.
Absolutely.
So
now you see why Michael's such a great addition to
fantastic
our organization.
addition. Nice job, Ted. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. RootsandWingsInc.org, correct?
Correct.
One of the greatest foundations, one of the great charities in our community. There are so many great charities in our community that we have the privilege and the honor to get to spotlight on our show. If you have a good cause or a foundation and we can help amplify your impact, please give us a call, 866-224-5422. Michael and Ted, as always, welcome. Thank you for joining us, Michael. A pleasure. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to flip over to our 1 o'clock hour. Today is National Cook a Sweet Potato Day. 2222.
And Dawn, if you call, Dawn will be
I might
cooking
cook a sweet potato?
A sweet potato with honey.
Me in the microwave. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious. Made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donuts. Choose from over 18 flavored donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
2020 has been a year like no other. 2020 The Game is an exhilarating board game where players struggle to collect 270 electoral votes and win the White House. All while navigating through the challenges of a global pandemic, an international toilet paper shortage, the invasion of murder hornets, state of emergency lockdowns, and civil unrest, just to name a few. Roll the dice and see what fate awaits you. Purchase yours today. Available at 2020-thegame.com, Palm Beach Outlets, Amazon, and Walmart.com.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyreshevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyreshevsky@gmail.com. That's amyreshevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day.
That you and you kiss is all I need to seal my fate, and hand in hand we'll find love's promised land. There'll be no one but you for me, eternally. If you will be my love. And hand in hand we'll find love's promised land. There'll be no one but you for me, eternally. If you will be my love.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This is Dr. Hillary Taylor with Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, Dr. THC. Hi everybody, I am Dr. Hillary Taylor, also known as Dr. THC with Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, here to bring you 5 tips to keep you moving forward in 2022. The first one would be to keep moving. Whether it's moving your body and walking outside or turning on the radio and getting down, it is important to keep your body moving. As important as it is to keep yourself hydrated. Drinking alkalinized, pH-balanced water is probably one of the best things you can do for your health. The other thing would be to practice gratitude. It's a good idea for at the end of the day just to reflect and think about 3 things that you're grateful for. Also, as important is to stay present. Stay aware of your environment and your surroundings and how you feel. And don't forget to reach out to those friends and family who are good, loving people. It is important to stay connected and have a community. If you need one, we are here for you. Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, we always have your back.
How old is this bell?
We got it used, so I don't know. It's like when you adopt a puppy.
What do you mean we got
And
it
you never
used?
know how old the puppy is
I
because
may
you
have to buy
adopt
a
a
new
puppy.
one, so-
You've tried, and it's never quite the same as
Where
the
did
OG.
we get this bell?
Our old landlord gave it to you.
Oh. Well, that ain't happening.
So that is how you got it. But a great segment that was from Roots and Wings. It is a great organization foundation in our South Palm Beach area, Boca, Delray, Boynton Beach, helping the kids learn to read. You know, you realize how important reading is, but you almost take it for granted because when you can read, you don't think twice about it. You don't think twice about going through the schooling. Then there are different socioeconomics and different reasons why the kids are having a hard time. Different language, English as a second language, and these kids are falling through the cracks, some of them.
Well, you got to remember, reading can be very, very scary.
Sure.
Intimidating. You know, I mean, I see the way you read, and you understand the words. When I read, I make up my own definition of certain words.
Do you?
Yeah. That's why the kids don't understand a word that I'm saying sometimes.
Because you make up different words.
Because it's the only thing I know.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is true. I make up a lot of words because I don't have I'm not a big vocabulary guy.
You got your own vocabulary.
That's
Remember when
why-
we were going to do that coffee table book of Freddie's vocabulary? Your own vernacular.
Vernacular. Thank you very much. But the bottom line here is I don't understand some of the words that I even read, and I don't read it right. You, on the other hand, when I say a word, you know it without even looking at it. How do you do that?
But there are most things I skim, and sometimes I lose the essence,
No,
and
you
I have
don't
to
lose
go
the
back and read it
No, you don't.
again. Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true. She happens to have a very IQ. When we play our games, I hate playing with her because as I'm taking the pencil out to start to write the answer, she's finished.
Speaking of games.
And you see, whenever you talk about Dawn, she changes the subject matter on you.
Actually, this Friday, we've got Big T's Deli coming in.
Big who?
Big T's. He's bringing a 3-foot sub for lunch for everybody. Because I heard they want for lunch. Segment. I think she left also. But you know how we work with the Baconator, Megan Breselton, the Sizzle lady?
Yes.
In all her games? Well, she came up with a new challenge, and it's online games to help do trainings and help bring employees up and teamwork. So she was looking for people to sign up and help bring her program forward, and
I'm
I
all
said,
in.
we're all in. So she said, great. She was watching us over Christmas that we used a lot of her content.
Don't tell her that. What about the lady who says if you don't laugh, you'll never sell?
That's her.
No, it's not. The one from Iowa.
Yes, that's her.
That's not the Braininator.
No, that's the Baconator.
Yeah. Oh, that's her?
Yes. Brain
Oh, we need to-
Entertainer is Judy Herman. She's here. I should bring
She
Judy
said we
back
should bring
in.
them both together.
I don't know if your brain can handle that.
No, I
I'm gonna
can't.
be like,
But that's okay.
can you imagine?
I'll use slick spray.
It has been an interesting kind of day.
I'm exhausted by
And I feel like we're in this little womb here of knowing what's going on. But today is 2/2/2022.
Yes, and apparently you think that for some reason there is some magical stuff going on.
There is no doubt. So if you find yourself going down the road most often traveled of negativity, flip your mindset today and go to the road of positivity and the road that you should travel, because wait till you see the greatness that can happen.
I don't know what she's talking about, but my day has been horrendous.
Not really.
Horrendous. How are ya? Parlez-vous français? Comment allez-vous?
She left. And that would be Audrey.
No, that's a Frenchie.
That's Audrey, is her name.
Audrey.
So what I love so much about the Coffee News is they have all these stories about a dog's life, a swan song. They've got a lot of things, and Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping who?
Sleeping Beauty. People stream lots of things on the internet these days, such as movies, biographies, games, education, and meetings, to name only a few.
Now, I got to ask you a couple of questions.
But have you ever streamed yourself sleeping?
Yes.
You have. You've put out yourself sleeping?
No, I didn't put it out. I sold it to a station.
A former member of the Chinese Malaysian pot group did just that, and she got a lot of hits. All she did was set herself up streaming.
When I went to NYU, I took a $50 streaming, sleeping for 8 hours or 6 hours. I had to stay awake for 6 hours, and they did everything they could to make me fall asleep. And you got paid the $50 no matter what. And about 4.5 hours later, I fell out.
They wanted you to stay awake? Yeah, that could never be a thing for me, because
For
if I
3 to
sat
9.
down, I would be asleep.
from 3 to 9. So what happened was I got my $50, and I felt like I had taken advantage of the deal, because who can't stay awake for 6 hours? And they show you some of the most sleepy, boring stuff. So I go on the A train home thinking, I am the king. I got $50. I mean, it was a.
But you fell asleep.
I was like nodding out, but they gave me anyway the money. So I'm in the A train, you know. I got mugged.
You did not.
I got mugged.
Are you serious? You got stories.
They
You should
stole my
really write your
$50.
stories down, is all I can tell you.
I remember one time I drove down to NYU on a Friday, and I took a math class, and I came back home, and I felt good because I got a B on a test. And I parked the car on a bus stop. And I'm looking at the car, and I'm getting a pizza, extra cheese. And they gave me a ticket. So I ran over to the lady and says, what are you doing? She says, you can't park here. I said, I'm standing right here. She says, but you're not in the car. And she gave me a ticket.
Wow.
I had to go home and tell my dad. No fun.
But you remember everything. See, I don't remember all of those stories growing up.
You don't remember no stories?
Some, but not.
Yeah, but you remember that gushy stuff.
Like I remember getting pulled over for a speeding ticket and crying and not getting it. I remember calling my dad. Like the girl things that we do, it's very different. I can't even tell you it's a language. It's a girl-guy thing. Very different.
I was in the back of a school bus, and we went to see our high school basketball team win a championship. This is in Puerto Rico. And I'm in the back because the American students sat in the back and the Rican kids sat in the front. And the most gorgeous woman, everybody liked her, sat next to me in the back. She came to the back to sit next to me. And I'm sitting there and we're talking, and she says, I want to kiss you.
Was it a woman or a girl? And how old were you?
I was in high school.
Okay.
I was 15.
Wow.
14, 15, whatever I was. I don't remember. I got so nervous that I ran to the front of the bus and I told the bus driver, you got to pull over, I'm going to throw up. So he pulls over on the side of the highway, and nothing's coming out. It's just gas and nerves.
Are you serious?
So I get back on the bus. He says, why don't you sit there in case it happens again? And when we got off the bus, she says, did I scare you?
Wow.
I said, no. Yes, you did.
That explains yet so much, I have to tell you. That's hilarious.
I remember those stories.
You got a lot of good stories.
Oh, I got a ton of stories.
We got Tell Us Your Biz tonight. What are we amplifying tonight on Tell Us Your Biz?
Why would you put me on the spot?
Because you got stories. Changing in business. Things have opened up. Angel, we've got Touched by Angel live on Monday nights. And this woman came to us. We talked about amplifying your impact on business. And she said, I dream of manifesting my own talk show. So she manifested before even Manifestation Day. Not only did we give her her own talk show, she has a sponsor plus a potential new sponsor we're meeting with on Thursday.
Is she going to stay on Monday or she's going to Thursday?
We're moving her to Thursday as of March.
So
next week she's going to be Monday night, and then
we're
switching her to March.
So we have to make that announcement and let people know.
So we're going to switch her to March here in the theater on Thursday evenings, opposite Gina, which will be really great.
So the message is, if you want to be on radio, or you want to be on Roku, you want to be on anything, let us know, and we'll make it happen. See, she didn't think it was going to happen, but it's happening. And it's gone in a whole new direction.
And she's just fantastic, everyone she's bringing forward. Eileen has a new sponsor, a doula. So I've got Audrey putting together her commercial for Friday.
A doula is the
woman that came in is kind of like a birthing coach, a life coach.
Yes.
And she's Eileen's new sponsor. Some spectacular pictures. Oh my gosh.
You've never been to one of those births? I think I asked you that.
She will help with any birth. It's more of a birthing coach.
In the pool?
Well, they'll do that also, but
Have you ever seen that?
Only on TV.
You never been to one of those?
No.
They go in there and it's like the Red Sea.
You know, it's funny. I was watching, on Facebook I get so much news, and there was someone I know, and she breeds, I don't know if she breeds horses, but she works with horses. So she was getting a new horse, and the horse gave birth, so she was getting the baby horse. And everything when the horse gave birth was right there with the baby horse, all of the birth stuff. Yeah. And I was thinking, you going, yeah. And I saw it, I'm like, man, if Freddie saw this, he would be like, ugh. But it's the beauty of life. It's the beauty of birth. You know, you and I are very isolated and insulated
much
in this
beauty.
little bubble.
Not too much beauty.
But it's time to get back out and do things we got to do.
You know, when I was in the Bronx and I needed to make some money, so I got together with a guy who had a truck. I was gonna call you on your phone, but that wouldn't work.
But if you call me on my phone,
It was going to
work.
ring here.
And so I got together with a guy who had a U-Haul, refrigerated U-Haul truck. You ever seen one of those?
No.
Has the freezer in the front so you can put frozen goods in the back. Okay, so he got one of those. I didn't even think those things existed. And he takes me to a cheese company where they make
cheese
in big blocks of different type of cheeses. You wanted this cheese, you wanted that. And then what do I know about cheese? I know nothing. So he puts $2,000 worth of cheese. And that was a lot of cheese in the day because it was big chunks at very reduced prices. And he says, okay, now I need you, because I have my CDL, he said, I need you to drive to these different places. Do you know that he sold all that cheese for $10,000 in a day?
Wow.
In a day. Who buys it? He went to restaurants, because the restaurant would spend, let's say, $500 on cheese. He gave it to them for $250 under
Wow.
the table. And
New
I
York
learned,
is so different than any place else.
I learned you can make a market on anything.
If you're good at what you do. If you have a market.
Or you can make a market. So this brings me to my bad side of the story, Bitcoin, the coin people. There are people out there that now are telling you to invest, give me your money to put it in Bitcoin. It's all over the news. Guys are running away with the money.
Well, Slick, I hope you've got your ears on because I need you to pipe into this conversation. You know how Slick brought the conversation forward about the guy, I think on Twitter, who allegedly defrauded all these women for millions and millions of dollars and is living this swindler lifestyle. And he says, I didn't do anything wrong. I invested my money in Bitcoin in 2011. I have my own money. No one needs to know where I got my money from. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a businessman. So wherein lies the truth?
There is
Slick
no
on the
truth.
swindler. He says it's his money. He said he invested in Bitcoin.
But how he obtained the money is what's illegal.
What, cashing in his Bitcoin?
It wasn't his Bitcoin. It was other people's money. It's the same thing that just happened.
OPM?
Hold on.
Where's your mic?
You got to talk into a mic.
Who do you have running board? Nobody.
Bailey?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, Bailey on 18.
Okay.
But technically, in like law, he did not gain it illegally because he asked for the money and they gave it to him.
Yeah, but it's why he asked for it.
He asked for it, I'll say in the wrong context, but
That's
they still
illegal.
Gave it to him. That's probably.
Was it in the sexual context or was it in the
not
investment
sexual,
context?
Like, as in like, he was all of his cars were canceled. He couldn't get a flight out. He's in danger.
Wait, I'm laughing right now because you left Bailey on the board and she's at the
Yeah, no,
refrigerator.
She just opened up the mic. She just opened up the mic.
Oh, okay.
She just opened up the mic. But like that's literally she is not on the
If
board.
I go to you and say, Slick, I need money because I don't have money. Would you give me money? That's one thing.
No.
That's one thing. That's a gift.
No, but he did use in wrong content. He did use.
Aren't you supposed to be on the board?
Yes, you're supposed to be on the board. He did use in wrong content. It's on autopilot. He did use in wrong content to get the money. But
That's illegal.
yes. But it's what is it? I'll say it is out of state. It's out of the U.S.
It's not even in the United
It's
States.
not even in the United States. It's
I understand that, but the moment it turns to U.S. cash, it's illegal. Let me ask you a question.
But he
Hold on.
invested in Bitcoin.
I sell drugs, which I don't, but I sell drugs, and I got $1 million. I go, Slick, I'm gonna give you $1 million cash. I want you to buy Bitcoin for a year, and you're gonna give me back 800,000. You're gonna keep 200,000 for yourself. Sounds like a good deal, right? That has so many felonies attached to it. Undeclared, washing money, the whole nine. And it's legal going into Bitcoin because you're buying Bitcoin legally, but outcome is illegal because now you're a giant laundromat.
Correct.
So it's the same problem Going in is coming out.
I never really understood the washing money thing.
That's what I just cleaned it.
I know. Why is it illegal though?
Because you didn't declare it.
You didn't declare it, and it's not your money, and you're probably bringing in money.
And it was obtained illegally, selling drugs.
And he's trying to get into Hollywood, so like, if he is putting the money in Bitcoin and gets into Hollywood, gets a big job, not saying that Hollywood would hire him or they should hire him, but you know, it's Hollywood.
They say he's a good-looking guy. Not really my type,
If
but.
they do get him a job, he can turn that Bitcoin into U.S. currency.
And it would be illegal, and he would be prosecuted.
It wouldn't be a
Let me tell you.
There is a gray area.
There probably is a gray area.
They just arrested that couple in New York. They stole the Bitcoin in 2009.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you buy Bitcoin, can't you sell your Bitcoin?
Yes, but how do you obtain the money to buy it? If you rob a bank.
Well, what if he invested, allegedly, in 2011 when it came out, like we were told to do it when I met you? It was 25 cents?
Yeah, but that was legal. It go like this. You go to a bank and you fill your hands with bank money. Is that illegal?
No.
You steal money from the bank.
If you steal it, if they give it to you, no.
And if you take that bank money and buy Bitcoin and it comes out 100 times more.
Oh, so you're alleging
illegal.
that he stole the money and he bought his Bitcoin with it.
Exactly.
But
he's cleaning
in
it.
actuality,
he was given the money.
he was given the money.
Who gave it to
false
him?
The women that he was.
False pretenses, not give.
False pretenses, but he was given the money.
Right, because he cheated them.
There was a great. He didn't cheat them.
How can you say that?
He didn't cheat them. What's the word? He swindled them.
That's cheating. Swindle is cheating.
But I got to tell you, the fact that he's giving interviews, he has not been arrested.
He can't be. He can't be until he converts the Bitcoin back.
Do you remember the movie where, oh my gosh, the guy from the Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio goes around, Catch Me If You Can, and he's got all these jobs. He's a pilot, and he's a this, and he's a that, and he goes all over. He's an artist. Same situation. And finally, at the end of the day, when they end up, he goes to prison. True story. And he then becomes for the government, and he becomes like this hacker and saying, this is how I did it. This is what you need to look for going forward. This is like a modern day Leonardo DiCaprio
But you understand why they caught him.
Why?
They didn't have any evidence, like Slick is saying, that what he did was illegal.
Someone turned him in?
They caught him on tax evasion, just like they caught Capone. They couldn't tell you that Capone robbed the bank because there was nobody around to witness it.
He didn't pay the taxes?
He didn't pay the taxes on his money, and they got him on tax evasion. They will get you one way or the other. My question is, if I turn my Bitcoin into lira in Italy, is it still illegal? Or pesos in Mexico, is it still illegal? But it's illegal gathering.
What currency do they use in Puerto Rico? The dollar?
Dollar.
Because we were told that a lot of people are taking their Bitcoin
And
earnings.
going to Puerto Rico.
But it's still U.S. dollars is why I ask you.
Listen, if you get cash
Venezuela,
illegally,
they're doing there as well.
if you get it illegally, they're going to catch you one way or the other. If they want you, if you're doing enough big stuff, they're going to get you. And if you don't believe me, keep doing what you do. They're going to catch this guy. You notice he has not $1 has he turned back to cash.
No, because like, what is it? Probably he's hoping, just like everybody in cryptocurrency, that there's going to be a cryptocurrency situation from cars to buying homes. You can pay with Bitcoin.
Right.
You don't have to.
He's still going to jail.
Riding that gray.
No, there is no gray area.
Well, look at the movie, the TV series that's on Netflix, Inventing Anna. And it's about a true story. Actually, the article has been posted about, did this woman, Anna Delvoye, who's really not Delvoye, she's got another name, did she really have the money? Was it really a scam and a ruse all along? She ended up getting arrested.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like, I was planning to watch, like,
They made a movie about this.
Yes, like, she was, like, everybody wanted to be in.
And everyone to be her
I'm
friend.
going to give you another one. I'm going to give you $10 million. I'm going to give you $10 million of drug money.
Yes.
And I want you to go buy a mansion for $10 million.
Can't buy it because
All
broker's
cash.
gonna
You can
send
buy it all
everything
cash.
Every to the bank, they're gonna look at me.
No,
and
no,
be
no.
like,
All cash, no mortgage. You're gonna pay one check. Here's 10 million. You're gonna buy it all.
What land shark or what broker is gonna take all cash?
No broker.
Yeah,
Dawn
they're
is
not.
selling you the house. $10 million house.
Okay, but
You're
okay.
going to pay her $10 million for that house.
But I'm gonna still be looked at because I'm buying that house in
Well,
cash.
hold on a second. No, it's done every day. It's the volume that you're going to be looking at. Then you're going to sell that house to X for $20 million. You just wash money. You realize that?
No.
I mean,
Why?
Because it was illegal gotten gains from drug money, which started the parade.
But-
now everybody would say, "But Freddie, the the other 10 million is clean." No, because it was gotten with illegal gains, and it's all cash. There's no paper trail, nothing.
I feel like with this cryptocurrency.
You think about these things?
Yeah.
No, I'm just telling you in the
With
day
this-
that's what
Who
they
even
did.
thinks about this stuff back in
But
the
with
day?
this cryptocurrency wave, I understand U.S. currency, U.S. dollar, pounds, lira, Haitian dollar, good. I say all the currencies. They're gonna go universally at a point in time where there's gonna be open market for Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever coin.
Does the
Bitcoin's
U.S.
gonna-
have jurisdiction on Haitian money?
I would say because we have like four currencies down there, from U.S. dollar, Haitian dollar, good, and there's something else. Yeah.
What's the one
Four
island
currencies, wow.
that they take all the money and put it in the banks?
Switzerland?
That's one.
Grand Cayman?
Switzerland,
Caymans.
the Caymans. Switzerland no longer. They opened the boxes. In the Grand Caymans, you can take your money down there and they put it away, but you can't bring it back.
So you got to live in the Caymans.
Uh-huh.
You gotta live in the Cayman Islands.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind.
You want to retire
I
to the
just-
Caymans?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I ain't got no money.
That's true.
I got no money.
This is it. We got everything here.
But if Slick wants to give me some money,
Me?
I'll
I don't
take
have
care of
any
it for
money.
him.
No,
Very
bro. I
interesting.
don't have nothing.
All right, Slick, we're going to go to commercial break.
Everything's on the books.
We're on autopilot. You know, when you ask who's flying the plane, you know when the pilot comes out and starts talking to you, ladies
Bailey.
and gentlemen, today's drink is, and we're flying at an altitude of 10,000 feet.
And Bailey's
to
running the
your left
plane.
and to your right. We thought Bailey was running board until I hear at the refrigerator she peeks around the
She's
corner.
running board from the refrigerator.
Yes, we're on autopilot.
She's a dynamic woman. I got
It's an interesting conversation. He says he's done nothing wrong.
Of course he's going to say that. What's he going to say? I'm guilty, I'm guilty, I'm guilty. No, he's not going to say that. It is his interpretation that he should not be looked at that way because he asked people for the money and they gave it to him.
Interesting.
But it's what he said. I'm going to invest your money. Give me your money. I have no money. All lies. A lie is a lie. That's a lie.
More. More topics when we come back on this 222 Tuesday. Do you know how Tuesday got its name? Stay tuned.
Well, you know?
I do. Coffee News is a fun, family-friendly weekly publication provided free to restaurants, coffee shops, and waiting areas for customers to enjoy. Grow your business today through the power of effective, affordable advertising. Coffee News is an active marketing medium specializing in the ongoing weekly promotion of your business. This builds awareness for your company so you become known as the leader of your industry and develop brand awareness so people think of you first when they want your services or products. Maximize your visibility and achieve outstanding results. For more information on Coffee News, contact Sunrise Coffee News at mail.com or give them a call at 954-951-7870.
This is Dr. Hillary Taylor with Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community, Dr. THC. Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Hillary Taylor, also known as Dr. THC with Dr. Taylor's Holistic Community. I'm here today to talk to you about the mental health traffic light. Have you ever heard of it before? It is that yellow, green, and red lights that appear in our daily life. So at the green level, we are calm and collected. We are able to attack each day and approach every day with gratitude and pleasure, appearing to be at our best and really enjoying every bit of our day. Staying healthy with our sleep and nutrition are always important. And when we're in the green, those things are on point. When you're in the yellow, things start to fall a little bit. You get a little bit more irritated and aggravated, feel a little bit more sluggish. You might not be getting the sleep or nutrition that you know you should, and you might feel a little blah. We want to avoid that time and always stay in the green, but if you feel like you're slipping, that is a great time to reach out for help. We definitely want to avoid being in the red. That is a time where we are detrimental to ourselves. We feel trapped and overwhelmed. Sometimes you might even have self-harm urges or thoughts, and that is really the time to reach out. So whether you're in the red, yellow, or green, in order to help you stay there, reach out to me. You can call me at 1-833-552-4442, or also Instagram, Facebook, and online, www.drthc.net.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Justin Mooney, Special Counsel of the Florida Office of Hinman Howard and Cattell Attorneys.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Sonar Wines America. Wines made with music.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Welcome to Movies of Del Rey, a family-run movie theater that has been serving the Del Rey and Boca community for over 30 years. Open Wednesday through Sunday, Movies of Del Rey offers great admission prices, low concession prices, and quality customer service. Movies of Del Rey provides the quality of the big box theaters without the price tag. Movies of Del Rey provides new Hollywood content as well as new indie and independent movies. It truly is a hidden gem. Whether you're hosting a private event, party, or fundraiser, or are looking for your next date night activity, Movies of Del Rey is the perfect choice. Come on down to Movies of Del Rey, located at 7421 West Atlantic Ave in Delray Beach, or visit us online at moviesofdelray.com.
Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had mold or property damage to your house
Yes.
and used a personal adjuster,
Yes.
public adjuster?
Yes. Yes.
Did you use Triumph?
No.
Well, maybe if you had, how did it work out for you on the claim?
Not good.
So next time that happens, you should use Triumph Public Adjusters. WeGetYouPaid.com.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm being 100%
I am 100%.
serious.
You're right. You're right. I messed up. Except I didn't know him when this happened.
My parents had a similar situation, and they're still dealing with it because people do things that are not always kosher, as you say. And a contractor came in, and he allegedly worked with the insurance company until there's this last check that has to be signed by all parties.
That's half the problem.
Well, if they had worked with, and then they had to say who was going to sign the check, whose name was really the company, who's really the contractor. Triumph, WeGetYouPaid.com, public adjusters. I had never really heard of public adjusters until I started working with you. But you're in this situation, I guess you've worked with one before.
I got to tell you, what happens with a public adjuster, the courts and everything else, is something I have never in my life seen. Never seen it. Everybody, we went to arbitration because nobody could agree on the value of the damage. So all of that is done. And one side said, do, and the other one said, do, and they met in the middle. Okay, here we go. So you would think, here's your check and go away, right? No!
Because no one wants to pay.
There is a stipulation that because you go to court, one side gets paid by the insurance company because they're making you go to court. We would have settled outside of court if they had done the right number. So now that we went to court and won, now the other side has decided to pigeonhole, that's the term.
What's that mean?
It means they take it, they put it in a drawer, and they make you wait.
For how long?
As long as they want. And the problem with pigeonholing is that you can't stop it. So you call your attorney, she says, oh, we're waiting for them. You have to go back into court and say, Your Honor, it's been 7 years, and they're still pigeonholing the check. And there's nothing you can do.
Does the check come from the insurance company?
Yeah, and it's given to the attorneys for the insurance company has the paperwork and the check.
So it's not yours, but it's the plaintiff's insurance company. Then there's
Who's the
other side?
The defense, us.
So it's the plaintiff and the insurance company. So both your attorneys come together and come to a meeting of the mind.
That already happened.
Through this public adjuster.
That happened.
And the insurance company says, no, we still don't want to pay you?
The company representing the plaintiff.
Which is you.
The attorneys. The plaintiffs.
You're the plaintiff.
Okay, the company that is defending, the defendant.
Okay,
Those
defending the
attorneys,
insurance company.
they want to get paid for doing what they did. But that's not our fault. You got to go get it from the insurance company. I didn't ask you to go to court. The insurance company did. Why should I pay you?
So they want that to come out of the
They
settlement?
want the settlement. Yes, they want money out of the settlement. That was not the deal. That was not what was agreed to. That wasn't part of the whole thing. But because the process already has been agreed to, they think that they're going to sham me into, well, you got it. Somebody's got to pay us. It ain't me.
So who has the check?
The defendant's attorneys.
So the insurance company paid the attorneys and they're not paying you guys?
We
They're
don't
just
know.
sitting
We
with the
never
check?
seen the settlement.
You haven't even seen the settlement papers.
No. So I don't know. If I knew Triumph, I feel like calling him
Seeing
and
if they
telling
can
him,
help.
listen, can somebody help me, please?
Rectify the situation.
I don't understand what the problem is. But I do know that every day, like everything else in life, it costs you more money because things happen to the house that need to be rectified. So I may have to go and get it rectified again. I don't know what to do. I'm caught between a rock and another rock. And then there's the hard place. It's just horrible.
Because they want to make it so people don't go through, you go straight to your insurance company and you may not get
They
the right amount of money.
gave us $800 for like $125,000 worth of damage. Come on now. I What I don't understand is if you make a deal, then honor your deal. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. Can you imagine if they had won? And they would have gone to Party Town. And I would have been out there. But we didn't do anything wrong. We sat there, saw the rain come in. That's it. What am I guilty of? It's like Facebook. They hacked my Facebook page. So they throw me in Facebook jail to the 27th. Why?
Me too, I know.
I didn't do anything.
It's interesting. So contact Triumph, wegetYouPaid.com, and I can tell you, I'm sitting here listening to it from my parents. Remember when they were getting their kitchen redone? We kept saying, this doesn't sound right. What the contractor was saying was going to cost to redo their kitchen. They should have a kitchen like you would have put in back in the day, a kitchen, for what the insurance company paid out. It's just crazy. And now there's this check because it's made out to both parties. It's made out to the contractor and my parents. So both parties have to sign it. But the contractor used a different name, so he's not really the contractor under the legal name. It's a whole thing.
So how did it end up?
My sister's an attorney, and
they're going to court.
She's pretty much, she said, you guys either figure it out of this is what the bottom line is, or I'm taking you to court.
And the funny thing here is that you make a deal, and the deal doesn't happen, and the person that you gave the money to thinks it's their money, even though nothing happened.
Right.
And then you're supposed to be nice. I'm supposed to be nice. I'm asking you nicely to return the money. Here's a couple of dimes for your trouble, which meant taking my money and going to make more money because nothing happened.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me I'm wrong. How do you figure that? How is it that you figure I'm losing revenue because of your actions is my fault? How does that happen?
We still in the house?
What?
Are we still talking about the house?
No, I'm talking about other things.
Oh, I thought so. I was going to say, yeah, I know.
But how is it, I do what I'm supposed to do. I take care of my end of the deal. You make false promises because that's what they ended up being. I'm losing money because of it because, unfortunately, I am, and I can prove it to you. And then you're going to say I'm wrong. You're going to say it's my fault. My fault what? To believe in you? Is that what I'm guilty of?
Which is why, unfortunately, handshakes don't always work around town anymore.
You know what? Now I understand why everybody wants it for free, because if you don't get it, nobody cares. True?
It's a whole interesting thing. So I was listening, coming in this morning. Actually, my mouth is not numb anymore. I had an early dentist appointment. Now I can talk all day long. I was driving and listening to one of the radio shows. If you were, Slick, this is for you again, maybe Frenchie too. If you guys were at a bar with a date,
right,
and a member of the opposite sex came up to you at the bar and was really, oh, look at your tattoos. I love
hitting on
the
your
ink.
date. Happens every day.
And touching you.
Touching the girl?
Touching the tattoo, or the guy.
Or the guy. I've never seen that happen with a guy.
If you were at a club with a date and you had beautiful tattoos on your arm and a girl comes up to you and says, oh, let me touch your arm. I love the color and the ink. And your date walks away. What do you do?
What do you mean your date walks away?
Your date's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Because of this happening?
Yes.
I would tell you, stay right there and tell her, listen, I'm with somebody, respect the game, and I'll talk to you later. Don't let her leave.
Slick, what would you do? Oh, this one's coming out.
You got to grab a mic. You can't talk to me without a mic. Okay. There's three
There's
out
a mic
here.
on the table. So grab a mic. If you were at a club with a date and someone came and started hitting on your date.
I'm A3. Yep. I'm A2.
What would you do?
Well, sit there so we can put you on the camera.
And then you're like, nope, I'm just going to go to...
Where am I sitting?
Sit in one of those chairs.
Okay.
Bailey, sit on the other side.
Okay. What's the question again?
You're at a bar.
Yeah.
Or a restaurant with your date, and your date has beautiful, really, really nice tattoos. And a girl comes up and starts touching him and going, oh, I love your tattoos. Look at mine.
That's a little sus.
And then you get up and just go to the bathroom.
Why
and
is she
leave your
getting
date
up?
there with this girl.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I would not.
Would you do that?
Well, it depends how much I want the date to be, what I want the date to become. If it's just like a meaningless date.
If it's like your boyfriend.
Oh, no. Nuh-uh. You don't touch my boyfriend.
So would you say something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say something to him or to her?
It depends. If he's like reacting like, "Oh, thanks," and I would say like politely tell her to, leave.
Politely?
Like, yeah, you can stay courteous, but then like if I would have to like talk to her, I would be like, like, hey, like, this is a date. It's my boyfriend.
So you would point out the obvious.
Yes.
Okay, so if this was my boyfriend, I'd be like, I'd be this woman. Get your filthy freaking hands off my man.
Oh, so you would get reactive.
Yeah, I would.
Violent.
Now, as the guy, Slick, if it happened to you, what would you say? Anything?
Slick would say nothing because he's going to be flattered.
Yeah, he's going to be like,
He's gonna be
thank
flattered.
you.
There's a mic on the couch.
You're going to be flattered that happened to you, right? Because some female is that mic open? Yeah. Some female is. It's
What would you do?
It's like Dawn went to Gubba Rum's event on Saturday night.
Yes.
And she comes in parading about the Dawn. What is it called?
I did
What do
nothing.
we
I
call
got
it?
out of
Officer
my car.
Crumpy Club?
Officer Crumpy Club.
But she doesn't ask for
All
it.
I did was get out of my car.
Officer that
But
is
did she have to
trained-
come? No, this was at the club Saturday night.
I understand, but an officer that is trained for every condition, okay? Late nights, no food, comes in here at 9 a.m. I'm pretty sure he had coffee. Stumbles on every word.
What would you do if you were at the bar?
Wait a minute, I want to hear more of this.
Because Don is in front of him, he's like, there's a situation.
He
with
lost
an
his train of
alarm.
thought.
Yeah, he went cloudy.
Did you hear what happened to her at the Gubba thing?
What happened?
Some guy. Why don't you tell the story?
I missed
Yeah,
Slick's
go.
answer about the club, though.
Oh, what club? Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's
So,
your opinion?
yeah,
I'm interested
I
in
would,
this.
if I had my girlfriend, I would say, yeah, thank you. All right, and I keep the conversation going because I know if she starts walking away, like I do not want to pull any more attention off of my girlfriend or my date.
Now, what if your girlfriend had the tattoos and the guy came up to her and did the same thing? What would you
That'd
do?
be a different story.
Here it comes.
If a guy comes up to your girlfriend and starts touching her,
I would just have to, she would have to handle it. I wouldn't be violent, but she would have to handle it.
Slick, you know what you need to do?
I wouldn't be violent.
Get the gun.
That's too violent.
That's
Take it easy,
that's
there,
the
crazy
line.
horse.
Yes.
Take it easy.
I would have to say,
I'm sorry, that's the line.
The guy will be there, and then I have to look at the guy. I'll look at the girl.
You're gonna look and see if you can take the guy on.
No.
If he's a big muscular guy, what are you gonna do?
Because guys, for some odd reason, they come clueless. Like, oh, she's not on a date with somebody. Like, clearly you see us at a table. Like, what are you doing here? Like, I don't understand.
Being disrespectful. Yeah. So let's now hear about
What would you
Dawn's
do?
adventure on Saturday
But
night.
what
I'll
would
tell
you
you
do?
afterwards.
Yeah, what would
I'll tell you
do?
afterwards. Let's hear what happened Saturday night.
So let me finish telling you what happened on the radio, and then I'll.
Oh, there's more on the
right.
radio?
So the story was all of these questions, and basically it was. He's a grown man. He should be able to say, "Excuse me, this is my girlfriend.
I agree.
I appreciate
Yeah.
what you have to say." Kind of like step off. The other thing was tell your girlfriend, where do you think you're going? You are not going to the bathroom right now. You're going to stay and be part of the situation.
Are
You're
you
not
sure
just gonna
about that?
up and go.
First of
Yeah, I
all,
wouldn't walk up.
a guy has a hard time doing that.
Yes.
A guy should get up, hug whoever he's with, and say, "Yes, she loves my tats," and that'll be the end of it. I guarantee you, a woman's
Maybe
gonna
not
walk
say
away.
the word tats though.
Well, whatever.
It rubs their ear wrong.
Tattoos.
Tattoos, ink, whatever it is. Whatever you use, whatever vernacular. And the woman will walk away. But guys don't do that. Guys
Girls
go.
are vicious though.
Guys go, "Oh,
Girl,
you
yeah.
like? You know, you want to hear the story?"
Right.
And there it goes.
Hey, a tattoo.
I went to a restaurant and the word Freddie was on the girl's lower back.
Really?
And my fork fell on the floor. She bent over to get me a new one. And she had the word Freddie on the back of her lower back. So I was with my ex-wife, Michelle. She says, "Oh, is she in your fan club?" Now, I had never been to this restaurant. I have never met this woman. And I said, yes, she was.
She got Freddie?
I don't know this woman. See, there's many ways of handling this. But I'm dying for you to tell the story of Saturday night.
The story gets stranger. Let me tell you about my story, how it gets stranger. So Saturday night, we go to the Gubba event, and I valeted because I didn't want to walk through Delray alone.
Were there
so
the T-shirts, by the way?
What?
Were there the T-shirts?
Oh, we'll show it to you. It's right there.
Here are the T-shirts.
Was it from
No.
Michael?
We went another way.
He had
yes,
them
those shirts
printed.
are from Michael, yes.
Yes, he
From
had them
Michael's.
printed.
Did you print them or no?
No, we didn't. He had them printed.
He
took,
thought one of us was going to, and I told him, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
So he went
They
to
look
somebody
nice,
that
though.
They
Dawn
came out nice,
recommended.
right? He went down
Yeah.
to Festival Flea Market and had these printed in 24
really
hours.
good.
They did they took the logo that Bailey, I guess, vectored for him, and do you vector?
Oh, I don't vector. That's Sarah. That's what Sarah does.
It wasn't, yeah, Sarah gave him a vector.
All right. So Saturday night, we go to this event. I get out of my car, and I'm walking up the ramp into the bar looking for the bar where I would think Steve was. And these two guys stop me, and they say, Dawn? And I turn around, and I look, and I'm thinking quickly, Freddie, who are these guys? Have we interviewed them? I'm like doing a Freddie thing. Facial recognition? They say, do you know us? And I'm, I don't think I know you. Well, we don't know you either. We just read your name on the necklace. What are you doing here? I'm like, and what is the Brooklyn Cafe Show? Because I had my Brooklyn Cafe Show shirt on, which means they were like zoomed in on my necklace, right? Because my necklace is much smaller than my cafe shirt. So off I go into the bar situation, and I tell you what happened, right? I finally go in, see Lady Ashley, whoop, scooch around. I get home, and Facebook has these location services on your phone. And I had a new phone. So apparently my locating service was on when I was on Facebook. It even wasn't on. And these guys pop up on, do you know them? On Facebook, one of them pops up. Creepy, right? So they knew, like, I was in proximity to these people, and one of their pictures pops up on my Facebook.
Why?
To friend.
Shady.
Because Facebook.
There's a locator on that.
Thank you. So they must have had their locator on and me, and it was enough that Facebook decided we should be friends.
Facebook
I
decided.
canceled this situation, but that's how creepy social media can be.
No, I'm going to give you creepy.
And that's maybe when I got hacked.
I'm going to give, yes, that's
The
probably
next
when we
day is
got
probably why we
hacked
got
because of
hacked.
all the attention. I'm going to give you creepy. Creepy was when you walked in and started saying, my fan club is here.
No, I didn't say my fan
Oh, you said something.
I said, let me tell you what happened.
No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
You said
yes.
fan club, and I said, what? And you said,
I said
Officer
my Officer Crumkey fan club grows.
Then it dawned on me, no
What
pun
happened?
intended,
It
as to
dawned-
what must have happened. So this guy shows up late, because we would have had a blast on this thing.
Yeah, we could have, yeah.
But you weren't there.
On
You
a
were
date
off.
with
I
the
was-
grandma.
I was in a-
Finale, because you didn't go where you said you were going. No.
No, I didn't, but I was planning, though, so I was with family, consoling family.
So I go to the bar with Gina to get a drink. And this guy gets up and he says, okay, ladies, I'm getting up with my drinks. You can have my seats. And there was a seat and another seat. So I sit in one and Gina sits in the other, only to get drinks to go back to the bar. And the guy on the other side of Gina, there's a drink in front of this empty seat. Points to the drink. And you gotta love going out with Gina because she's more clueless than me. And she goes, that's not mine. He goes, no, it's my girlfriend. She goes, okay. He says, you gotta get up because she's coming back.
Or Gina was in the girlfriend's seat?
And I'm like, don't worry, we're just going to drink and we're going to go. We're not staying here. And she looks at him, and I don't even know if she even ever processed the whole situation, but it was hilarious. So this guy's like defending his girlfriend. And then there's the other people on the radio that are like, no, just look at my tattoo. So it's all about, I think, the guy's perception.
Nice try.
It is.
True?
I think it's the girl's perception.
Why?
I tell you what happened to me in Georgia. Lady comes and sits on my lap. Everybody's watching me. And this woman that I've never met in my life, she sits on my lap. And she starts taking pictures of us. And she has red lipstick on. She says, I want to cover your face with red lipstick. And I said, who the hell are you?
I had situations like that too, but I feel like there was a story before that. You probably made, I'll say, nonverbal communication.
No, not at all. I sat down to have some kind of lunch
Did you
there.
see her before?
Never.
Like,
Never.
As in, like, coming in, you didn't
Never. I didn't see her. I didn't know her. She's taking pictures. Now, I know how to get rid of her, but Linda and Sarah and Freddie was there too. And Freddie's like, did you plan this? I said, no, I didn't plan this. Get this woman off of me. And then she wouldn't get up.
But women do that. I once went to one of Chuck's high school reunions, and we were either married or engaged because we were living together, one or the other. And his ex-girlfriend finds me in the bathroom.
Hey.
Chucks?
Yes. And starts giving me the up and down, the whole thing. Both ex-girlfriends find me in the bathroom.
Both?
Oh.
Two?
Oh. Yes.
Oh, I would have fun with that.
And one of them, and they were talking in the stall, not knowing who I was, right? So I come in, and there's the girls talking about Chuck in the bathroom. I say nothing. So I go out, whatever, have the party. One comes over, and I guess he introduces me, and she does all the flirty ex-girlfriend things. And then the next morning, calls. We didn't have cell phones then. I guess it was still hard phones. Calls the house, and I answer
How'd she
the
get the
phone.
number?
Oh, I do not know. Calls the house. Hi.
Like how to make a house call.
And I answer the phone, and I get on the other end, and who is this? I'm like, really? I go,
So what'd you do? You
I
gave him
gave
the
him the
phone?
phone.
And you stood there.
I'm like, yep. And I stood right there.
People have their
100%.
ways.
Women are vicious.
Oh yeah.
Women
I
are
know.
vicious. Right?
Yeah, they can be vicious.
However, you do, I don't know.
Hopefully I find the one.
It's hilarious.
Huh?
I laugh, and I laugh some more because I gotta tell you, real quick, because we gotta go. If a woman were to do that, and you put your arms around her, or you get physical with her doing that, are you wrong?
What do you mean? If someone
Like if a
comes to
woman
flirt with
comes
you?
and she starts flirting with my tat and everything, I said, well, let me see what you got going on.
that's-
Oh, yeah,
Am I
that's
wrong?
wrong.
You're
Oh,
feeding
da,
it,
da, da,
you're
da,
wrong.
hold
You're
it,
feeding
Yeah,
hold
you
it,
can't touch.
hold it. What do you mean I can't touch? She's touching me.
you're
She's
feeding
going
it
like
the energy,
this.
but
I could go.
bigger and stronger and
I could be
scarier
weaker
than she is.
and shyer,
I know
but I'm not
you-
going to. I'm gonna bite back. That way, get at.
What do you
I know
think?
personally.
Wow,
it's like,
no.
It's easy to feed into it. You're like, oh my gosh, you really
What?
like this.
Why can't I do that?
What,
Hold on.
what would Maluma do?
Oh my God.
Why I can't?
What's what I wake up in
Well,
the
hold on
morning.
a second. Why I cannot do that?
Because
feeding into
you're first of all, if a woman like touches you, or even if a woman like hits you,
She's European.
as a male, you can't like fight back because you're stronger, bigger. I don't know like how big she is, but she's more likely, a little less strong. And then, so that's one. So
I
you
wasn't
you can
gonna
hurt
beat her
more.
up.
And if she touches you and like flirts, you can just say like no, like I don't want that. But you don't touch her. That's
I can't
assault.
touch her?
That's
no,
assault.
you can't touch.
But that would scare her away.
No, because it would
No, she would
scare
just
her in
call
a
the
bad
cops.
way. It would be an assault. It would be a sexual assault.
She's touching me. How can that be a sexual assault?
Because
it's just different.
It's
Oh,
different.
that's because women have
Yeah,
one
because-
side
no,
and men have
because
another.
when you guys want equality, sometimes it's convenient, sometimes it's not.
Oh, it's convenient for us. I see. So I can go over to a woman at a bar that's with slick
just different
and
rules,
just
different
touch her
rules.
tatte and her hair. I can do
you
that.
can't do
I
that.
can,
Different
but she
rules.
can do that to
She
me.
can do
Yes,
that,
yes.
yeah.
And you can politely say no. You have to
different
evolve.
rules, I know.
Evolve with this. With
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I'm still an ape
It's
from
different
the
rules. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
equal.
Yeah.
evolve. Wow. Wow.
We're evolving.
I
That's
have to say
hilarious.
I'm
It's
stunned.
different rules for ladies and guys. I'm telling you.
Different rules.
Different rules. Trust me, I got caught into like Snapchat stories because like just like how you got that woman sitting on your lap, like I just I was at this place and then I like eyeballed them and then they came out of nowhere with their Snapchat stories. They're like, hey, I just want to make my boyfriend jealous.
You got new glasses because of your Snapchat
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
so.
Why, they
It's
broke
kinda
them?
like it-
No, someone looked at him and said,
someone
oh,
looked
can
at
I
me
get
and
you
said,
new
"Yeah,
glasses?
We gotta take you into.
Yeah, but it costs you $200. Can I get you means
more than
free.
that. More than that.
You haven't even gotten them yet.
Yeah.
You got to say free. Get you means free,
No, but like.
Yeah.
right?
And an eye exam it cost you.
No, eye exam. She
Eye
wanted me.
exam and glasses.
Honestly, she wanted to talk to me. She wanted a
Like to
conversation with me.
purchase.
No, she wanted to have a conversation with me, and I know what she was trying. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I
wanted
don't
that.
understand this whole thing. If you touch me, I should be able to touch you back.
Can't do it.
You can't do it?
No.
Can't do it. I'm sorry.
Wow. And what if she touches the guy? Like a guy comes over and he's a friend of mine and your date starts touching his tats and all that. Is that okay?
Your day?
Oh, that would not go
No.
so well.
No,
That's my
no,
dick,
you
no.
need permission to touch anyone's body. Yeah,
So the only one who doesn't need permission is the stranger that comes over and touches me.
No, that's what I said.
I got it.
No,
I got
she
it.
doesn't. She
What
does
you
need
gotta
consent.
do
She
is
does need-
ask parents' permission.
No, just she needs to ask you if it's okay. Like, you can't touch someone. You can't go to any place and just come and like touch someone. That's.
The guy basically just
kinda
has
right.
to say, she's with
But
me.
you can't hit her if she.
But some people.
No, I'm
are
not going to
just
hit
bold.
her. I was going to touch her back.
No, some people are just bold. They would just.
And you can
touch.
never touch her back, by the way.
Exactly.
I can't?
Say no.
If you touch the back, that's one connotation than touching an
In the
arm.
day, that's what we did.
I'm telling you, if you
It's
put
not
your
We would
day.
take
if
the
you put
finger
your
down the
hand-
It's
spine.
not
Yeah,
the
that's
days.
not a thing.
It's two.
Oh, my mom.
Two.
My mom would do that. My mom used to do that. She was just like with the spine.
Okay, don't put your
Just a
mother's
female version.
laundry on the street.
All right, you ready to wrap this up?
Wrap it up.
More
Time to go.
tough touching topics on this 222
This show got out of control.
All I can tell you is happy 22 Tuesday. Manifest wisely, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in tonight at 6 o'clock. You've got Caregiver Solutions with Marcia Teal. 7 o'clock, Tell Us Your Biz. And 7:30, we've got Jordana Foster. Ready, set, go beyond to see what the word of the day is. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, manifest wisely, and we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. brunch.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just to reapply, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly